Trucker Dump for April 7th, 2009. Episode 9. A Trucker's Gotta Be Flexible.
Welcome to Trucker Dump, where you'll get one driver's insights and sometimes humorous views of truck driving and the trucking industry, and pretty much anything else he feels like dumping on you. This podcast is brought to you by AboutTruckDriving.com. Resources to help you understand the world of truck driving through the use of stories and a pathetic attempt at humor.
Hey there. Yep, I'm still sick. Anyway, for those of you new to the podcast, netcast, audio blog, whatever you call this thing, let me catch you up. My name is Todd McCann, and I've been doing this blog about truck driving since March of 2009. I've only recently decided to do audio versions of the blog posts because, everyone is dying to hear my voice. Not. One thing I realized as I've gone back to record these is how often I used to post. It seems like once every 3 or 4 days I'd put up another post. Boy, have times changed. Back then I used to post more often, but these older posts are way shorter than my later ones. And I suppose that's why I don't post as often as I used to. I used to do little 400-word posts, but now I'm more like a 1,500-word blabbermouth who doesn't know when to shut up. Actually, I was getting a bit concerned about how long my blog posts were getting, but an impromptu survey on Twitter ensured me that as long as the post stayed interesting, it didn't matter how long they went. I tell you all this just in case you thought you were wasting your time with these little 3 to 5 minute episodes. Trust me, if you stick around, they're going to get long enough that you'll be glad you have a mute button. Okay, now that's over with, let's get on with today's post, which was called, A Trucker's Gotta Be Flexible. When it comes to scheduling and time management, there's one sure thing about trucking. If you want to be a successful trucker, you must have the flexibility of a gymnast without a spine. I can't think of many jobs that are as demanding. Maybe a tow truck driver or a bail bondsman, possibly a doctor on call. The people on call aren't usually required to be available 24/7 forever and ever. Take today as an example. We pulled into our company yard yesterday afternoon to put our truck in the shop this morning. The problem comes from the fact that we must vacate the truck while it's being worked on. As team drivers, the evil overlord and I try to stay on a schedule as much as possible. If one of us is sleeping, the other is awake. If you're the one who's awake, you're either driving or keeping busy until you receive your next load. That way, someone's always ready to keep the truck moving and the money rolling in. Or in this economy, maybe I should say keep the money crawling in. But because of this schedule, the evil overlord doesn't usually go to bed until 5 to 7 a.m. And that presents a problem when the shop wants your truck at 8 a.m. She knew this would happen and tried to go to bed earlier, but when you've slept all day, you can't just go back to bed and fall asleep again. So she's had approximately 2 hours of sleep today, and she's as grumpy as a tiger with a toothache. Furthermore, by the time the truck gets out of the shop, it'll officially be her turn to drive again. But she's only had 2 hours of sleep. So now what? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll be driving. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying that I'm the type of person who is extremely flexible when it comes to when I sleep and how long I can stay awake. The evil overlord is, well, not. I went to bed at midnight last night, so when the truck gets out of the shop, I should be crawling into bed. Instead, I'll be driving for a while. Whether it's for a few hours so the evil overlord can get a nap or all night is entirely up to how long she can safely drive. If she decides to sleep her full 10-hour break, then our schedule will be completely out of whack, meaning she will be driving during the daylight. And she hates that as much as she hates sitting on a wet toilet seat. It wasn't me, I swear. Now, legally, I haven't driven since noon yesterday, so my logbook says I can drive my full 11 hours before I need a 10-hour break. But I will have been awake all day, too. What to do? As for solo drivers, it's even worse. When you drive by yourself, you never know when your next load will be coming. That's one of the things that I really didn't care for when I drove solo. I could drive all day to my delivery, get my 10-hour break in, and be rested and ready to roll. Then they tell me my next load picks up 12 hours later. Now what? There's a better chance of my cat learning algebra than there is of me falling asleep anytime soon. But after 12 hours, my body is telling itself to get ready for bed. So you can see why it takes some flexibility to drive a truck. Some people have it. Some people don't. If you don't, you better find a co-driver that does. People in the media love to complain about tired truckers. and I love to complain about them. How about we tell them they have to work another full shift just 5 or 6 hours after their regular shift is over? How happy would they be? Probably as happy as they are when their producers assign them a trucker-friendly story. Frickin' vultures. So instead of dogging us all the time, let's hear it for the multitude of truck drivers out here who have to be flexible just to earn their living. Hip, hip, hammer down! So, how about you? Are you flexible? Have you always been, or did you have to adapt when your job demanded it? In 9 years of trucking, the evil overlord never did, and I doubt she ever will. So send in your thoughts on the subject by going to abouttruckdriving.com, typing TD009 into the search bar, and leaving your comments. Since I'm so tech-savvy, I'm also skilled at accepting emails to truckerdump@gmail.com. Jobs and Gates ain't got squat on me. Search for @ToddMcCann on Twitter if you like to waste your time like I do. And I'm still waiting on the flood of comments that I know are on the way. Right? Well, anyway, thanks for listening. So until next time, drive safe and stay out of my way.